Ishimori Sanjingirdo. It appears there is a very high price for your freedom. One is from a faction you apparently belong to, and the other in the name of love.
I've been here for the last 15 years. Whatever this torture is, I'll let you know. Nothing has changed with me, Feyroy.
No. But the universe has. And the few things that are for sure is that I am here to see what makes you tick and what makes you crack.
I'm dying to get some mommy.
And don't be in a hurry to die. That is the first rule in this game.
Oh, chicas don't like at least scanning, eh? Oh, that's sick.
Well, it depends on how you fire it off.
Well, babe, you know what kind of powers I got, and you know how they get.
And you're gonna need to increase the temperature.
Anything else?
I ain't get that far yet. I'm actually early.
You temper with the wires yet, boss?
No, I'm trying to figure out what difference between Hesna and Futurity.
Nothing really, because they're brothers.
Yeah, but usually if that is so, there should be a sibling rivalry.
Really?
Yeah, because when you headline something like Indicidia, it's a power struggle, similar to an election.
Let alone a runoff.
If the throne runs thicker than blood, then where does the water flow?
Draining down the dingiest part of the gutter.
The rumor is they want to brand this world along with the cosmos into its Indicidia wave, which is an explanation for the cesspool we are swimming in.
What do we got on the doctor?
That Arcolino took him as you both arranged.
No, it's gonna be my responsibility pretty soon.
Alright, take a look at this. The comrades established that the entire section we are trying to hit is connected to the grid line.
No, they got a lot invested into this shit. They want somebody to go in for the collapse and bring old Rome down with them.
It's not just the dome we are dealing with. The entire urban complexes are armed to the teeth. I would not be surprised if some of the slaves have sided with their captors.
Yeah, but this ain't Rectomancer anymore. This is Indicidia. Different monster. Gigantic.
Well, this is mercenary work. I want you two to keep an eye on any activity in and out of orbit. Even keep tabs on urban warlords. They can't know we planning a breakout.
We can stay ahead of it, Chronic. But you better believe they see us coming.
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, what do we have here? Let's see how much is this one worth. Oh my god. See, boys, it looks like the holidays have come early. Wait until they get a load of this one. I think I know all too well.
How do we look?
Okay, the doctor is accounted for. Nozzle linked up. The captain's got the tips they need. We even got Mo and the bolt cutters on board. Courtesy of Fox and Drew, no?
They still on the Predator?
I haven't heard any more departed updates. And then again, no one else has either.
Probably alright. Maybe Serena's giving them to the Grand Tour or something.
Well, dude, it is the Predator. My jaw always drops every time I'm on board.
But at the end of the day, we all human beings. So even if we drool, we still got a job to do. The Dome Hub depository schedule. Where we at?
It looks like we're ahead.
The stars hasn't arrived yet.
Well, we're hacking into our enemy's territory, knowing where they're at, when they're at, tracking their NSEW. It's enough to make them angry.
Wait until we knock out their system.
Oh, the LIA's gonna have a fit!
No, the LIA's gonna advance the next phase in their operation. That's the fit they gonna have they form in.
Well, yeah, that is the form. Like, you gotta figure the LIA is under Indicidia. They get their directions from them.
Which is why we need a sense of urgency. Russell, it's not just the LIA we dealing with, dude.
Hey, we're working around the clock. You've got the best around you. I mean, I don't see what the problem is.
The problem is, be enough. We can't lose this, Russell. I can't lose this. I can't lose this again. Not again. Not again.
Hey, you know this game more than I do. Is that anything can happen, even if we can't afford it.
And Delphenia?
Well, her status... She hasn't arrived yet.
We need to know when she does.
You trust her?
You trusted her during the manhunt, didn't you?
Chronic things were different then.
It was real then and shit's more real or not. She thinks she gonna find that she married, but she ain't.
No, hell no, especially if she's being escorted by Whitey.
And once she realizes that, it'll bring her closer into what we doing. And maybe closer to is she married.
Mercenary gamble.
Mercenary business.
Alright, so what are we missing?
Nothing, that's the point, remember? We got the best not even money can buy, right? So check it out. How quickly can you assemble attack resources for everybody else?
Well, with the exile suit, I can even have them packaged delivered under the radar in less than a couple of hours.
Alright, organize the locals. Reach out to Zakai and Corner Boys on temp agencies. Send tools to hideouts nobody know about.
Alright, on it. Well, looks like we made progress.
Yes, it was quite a breakthrough.
Well, y'all both talking.
You really believe?
Well, if we did, me and him wouldn't be here. Going this extra mile, taking this leap of infinity, getting creative in the moment, because we could have been like everybody else, chasing down the hustle, wandering around, letting everybody suffer faces like it ain't nothing.
So is that what you call this? Reaching out. An extension of the hand. Establishing communication. Bringing together a halfway of the meeting. Well, if you have to start somewhere, then with all credit to do, you apparently made an impression.
But
it was never really that complicated to begin with.
Yeah, but you and dude wasn't talking.
The both of us had our reasons.
Neurosis, the same shit, unless you making it sound like we didn't really do nothing.
Don't be disappointed if it was a bit of both.
No hard feelings.
Shulk and I had contact, but we kept our distance in the majority.
Yeah, but tension was still flexing.
We both lost a lot. Holding each other responsible, because he held me back, and I never listened.
The mirror is a hard thing to look at, even when you're washing your hands. That's why they scrape and scrub so hard.
There's nothing like a reflection to validate the permission of proceeding forward. On the former world of your ancestors, as well as the predecessors, that planet's last days were determined by a generational default. Aspirations for the future descendants consented to the comfortability of trust. But at the beginning of the 21st century was going to be the end of the normal age.
Because after the beginning, pipeline propagandists initiated their battles for supremacy.
The focus of future references, rather than the current conditions of that period, were disregarded, and unrealistic future emphasis was nothing more than an escape from any traumatic humiliation that represented a tragedy that had no patience to be dealt with. Henceforth, instead of leaving behind and standing by truths and all ideals to be held self-evident with much due respect, unfortunately preferential treatment nevertheless persisted into the deciding factor of who and what is to be classified in between the inferiority and the superiority.
Based on the ownership, property, estate, platform.
Those principles compromised any chance of continuum, making any preferential emphasis by designated classification an inorganic concept, leaving relevance to no longer be a subject anymore.
A lot of cats from the generation from them last days was under substance abuse. Then you had the proliferation of technology.
The greatest mistake was not only entrusting the future of divisional labor and profitable cause in the hands of the generation's birth at the end of the 20th century, but the fall within the industrial complexes,
which were grounds for undermining offense orders, or they could exercise disobedience.
At that time, the superpowers of Earth had difficulties lowering their expectations, but those difficulties forced a demand dependency from the generation birthed in the middle of the 20th century.
A generation that was on their last leg. The prophets took and exploited that.
Which was able to buy enough time for artificial intelligence to begin its work.
AI. There was almost an uprising among the machines.
Artificial intelligence was moving rapidly, taking advantage of a docile nullificated generation, replacing the labor, nearly its population overtaking it, forcing the age of the superpowers to take swift expansion, economically, politically, socially, and militarily. uncharacteristically.
Isolated communities were able to propagate cases in response to the current conditions that they was in through organization, mobilizing, galvanizing.
Until artificial intelligence manipulated individual deprivation for its own gain, which gave way for World War III. And the role artificial intelligence played was pivotal. It was an age that evolved from war propaganda, the social revolutionary upheaval, to multiple nations across the globe becoming superior forces on a stage that was eager to search for the next wave of global elite.
Disregarding ideology, race, revolution, change, it was an arms race on whose nation was more superior, and whose country went from prominence to apartheid.
Thus, artificial intelligence became a catalyst for not only World War III, but the climate crisis, both which destroyed the Earth. We had to rescue you. If we didn't, AI would have replaced you all.
Sound like a guilt trip.
More like I never felt more grateful.
We only here by chance.
Nothing short of a miracle.
Any similarities?
Too many, but worse. The infamous old legendary Ricardo Vide once had fears of an AI uprising, close to an anxiety. With the swift elevation of Indicidia and our rivalry, could this world face something similar?
Well, don't listen to those who are demented. And that's what happened on Earth. The ones at the top had the most convincing ways to prove they were the word of God above all else, until they too believed the same thing about the materials they invested into, which in turn were built by the hands of labor of who they enforced upon.
Some of those materials are artificial intelligence.
The same tools that go against Indicidia.
Those tools are inferior as they are man-made.
But they are a thorn.
As well as it is futile.
In a matchup, it's no contest.
It's already obvious which one.
But guess what? We ain't AI.
Of course not, but imperfect.
We can still learn. We just as good, if not better.
I believe you. So now explain this.
Now why would they do something stupid like that? They must have a good reason, otherwise they wouldn't be talking to him.
But going to consult Adelan is not only absurd, but suicidal.
No, something had to have happened for them to take that direction.
Engaging the enemy is a signal to their forces, which is not on schedule, so compromise we may not survive.
No, we'll survive. A lot of members of the Zakai Autonomous Guerrilla Warfare Army hasn't been compromised, plus Zakai's united.
Not by decom.
But you have numbers.
Not compared to Indicidia.
We'll at least put up a stalemate.
Our chain of command is more organized.
But Indicidia at this point?
Which is exactly why we have to work on the point.
Yeah, but they are approaching Adelan.
Not confirming why.
Well, if Delphine is on the move, one way to find out is to see if the transportation stops moving on tracking. Well, you'd have to see in the next few hours, because if it don't stop by then
nothing's changed. Everything will be going on schedule.
Adelan has been a major player on the ground, so our comrades are there, so we'll just have to see what goes north and what goes south.
We don't have time to organize a plan B.
You mean plan D? Because either way, we about to find out if we have to.